versus man narrative and go to the man collectively, cooperatively in our embrace of and our struggle with living sustainably on this planet. And I was encouraged when the Pope Francis wrote his encyclical on the environment, and that got worldwide attention because Catholics have a Pope. Muslims, we don't have a Pope. All right. Someone can say, well, why don't you should say what you're saying, and other Muslims should say, we all are saying it. I'm not the only one saying what I'm saying. All Muslim leaders around the country, around the world are saying it. Well, we don't have a Pope. And so, we try our best. But we did have a summit on the environment in Istanbul, and there was an Islamic declaration on global climate change in Istanbul. How many of you guys knew about that? All right, excellent. You guys are informed. All right, so you raised your hand. Tell me the first 10 points. No, I'm just kidding. With that I'll just have Najib go ahead and do it for us. Go ahead, Najib. No, I'm just kidding. So there is hope. There is, we see in the seeds and in the sprouts that we are awarded today, there's hope that we can, as people of faith, come together and realize that we're all on the same side. And yes, we have those in our ranks or who identify as co-religionists who are doing things that are destructive to the environment, like what Saddam Hussein did in the scorched earth policy of burning the wells when he was, realizing he was losing in the Second Gulf War. We have people who are terrorists, who are extremists in our respective religions, who are acting out in a way that's destructive to one another and to the earth. But we have as allies one another, people who take this God-given charge seriously. And that's why I'm here, really not to, I was inspired, not to inspire you, but really to maybe think of a framework or help set forward a framework that we could then build upon towards the common good. And I'll just say one last thing. I'm founding president of this Muslim seminary, the first of its kind in the United States. Accredited master's degrees, educating religious leaders and scholars from the United States, imams, or the name of our clergy. And we're doing so in cooperation with a Christian seminary, Methodist-based, but ecumenical Christian seminary, Claremont School of Theology, 130-year-old, well-respected Christian seminary, a Jewish seminary, Buddhist university. And the founding president, Jerry Campbell, the president who helped bring us together as a consortium, Jerry Campbell was, when he was talking to me, he said, I have this vision of desegregating theological education so we can really educate our own religious communities authentically in their own tradition, but also come together and identify the common ground that we can build upon for the common good. And he said, I was recently on a trip hiking in New Zealand. He's a big outdoors guy. And he was hiking through the mountains, and they went on this big circular route and multi-day trip, and they had all their equipment and food and everything with them. And when they were coming back, there was a heavy rain, and this river that they needed to cross to get back to civilization was swollen and flooded, and there was no crossing it. And they were out of food, and they needed to get back so that they could make it out. So he said, he was in his 60s or 70s, he's an older guy. He said, any one of us would have crossed that river, would have been swept away. So we looked at each other, he said, we can't make it alone. Let us interlink arms and walk slowly together and forge this river. And they did, and they made it through. What a beautiful metaphor. None of us alone can make it. We can't achieve what we need to achieve to save the sustainability of life on this planet. But together, if we link arms, we can make it past the treachery that lies ahead of us and into a more beautiful future. So I thank you very much for your attention, and I welcome some questions.